Welcome to a fascinating journey around the world. In this video, Zarpato, we will discover a unique curiosity about each country, starting with those whose names begin with the letter L and going all the way to those that begin with the letter Z. Let's get started. Laos. It is the most bombed country in the world, having suffered intensely during the Vietnam War, being the object of a devastating bombing campaign by the United States. Between 1964 and 1973, more than 2 million tons of bombs were dropped on the country. Despite its tragic past, Laos is home to the Mekong River, which forms an archipelago known as the 4,000 Islands. Lesotho. Lesotho is the only country in the world whose territory is entirely above 3,300 feet of altitude. More than 80% of its territory is even above 5,900 feet, giving it the title of the Kingdom in the Sky. Latvia. Latvia is home to Europe's widest waterfall, known as the Venta Rapids, with a width of 272 yards. Liberia. After the Ebola outbreak in 2014, Liberia implemented a law banning the consumption of wild animals. As a sustainable alternative, the breeding of giant snails in Liberia has increased. These mollusks are fast reproducing and high in protein, offering a viable food source that could help discourage hunting and consumption of illegal meats. Libya. It was ruled by Muammar Gaddafi, who staged a military coup in 1969, overthrowing the local monarch and establishing his regime that lasted 42 years. But after a popular uprising and support from Western countries, Gaddafi was overthrown and killed in 2011, triggering a civil war that has persisted in Libya to this day. Liechtenstein. It is the only country in the world that owes its name to those who bought it. Emperor Charles VI decreed that the county of Vaduz and the lordship of Schellenberg be united to form a principality named Liechtenstein in honor of Prince Anton Florian of Liechtenstein. Lithuania. It is the only country with its own perfume. The scent of Lithuania is a perfume that evokes a unique blend of notes that represent Lithuania's identity and nature. It is composed of aromas that include bergamot, ginger, raspberry, amber, and tree moss, among others. Luxembourg. Luxembourg stands out on the world economic scene for having the highest GDP per capita in the world, reaching approximately $127,076. In addition, Luxembourg is the last remaining Grand Duchy in the world. The country is ruled by Grand Duke Henri of Luxembourg. Lebanon. Byblos, located north of Beirut in Lebanon, is considered the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world. Archaeological studies suggest that this city has a history dating back more than 7,000 years. North Macedonia. Kokino is an archaeo-astronomical site in North Macedonia, which is often called the Macedonian Stonehenge because of its resemblance to Stonehenge in England. It is known for its megalithic observatory dating back to the Bronze Age. Madagascar. Madagascar is the largest island in Africa and the fourth largest in the world, behind only Greenland, New Guinea, and Borneo. The people who live here are called Malagasy, which refers to both the people and the language and culture of the country. Malaysia. The Petronas Twin Towers, located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, held the title of the tallest buildings in the world from their completion in 1998 until 2004 at 1,483 feet. Malawi. Malawi is known internationally as the warm heart of Africa. The reason? Its people. When you travel around this country, you will be amazed by the kindness and hospitality of its inhabitants. In addition, in 2006, Malawi was the subject of international public attention when David Banda Mwalashikoni, a Malawian orphan, was adopted by pop star Madonna. Maldives. Despite having a 100% Muslim population, which influences many of its laws and customs, tourist resorts operate differently, living practically outside these laws. In these resorts, restrictions on alcohol and clothing are considerably relaxed to accommodate visitors. Malta. Known as the smallest country in the European Union, if you've heard Homer's classic, The Odyssey, Malta's Gozo Island was home to Calypso, the nymph who imprisoned Ulysses, hero of the Trojan War and protagonist of the play. And guess what? In Malta, you can visit Calypso's cave on the island. Mali. This is the only country where Bogolanfini weaving is made, which is made by dyeing hand-woven fabric with mud. Despite its rich cultural heritage, it is currently one of the poorest countries in the world, with 70% of its population living on less than $1 a day, and less than 10% of Malians earning more than $2 a day. Morocco. It is the #1 tourist destination in all of Africa, attracting more than 10 million tourists a year. In addition, the Al Qarawiyyin University, located in Fez, is the oldest university in the world that is still in operation, having been founded in 859 AD. Marshall Islands. Elugelab, one of the Marshallese Islands, no longer exists, having been destroyed by the American Army in 1952 during a hydrogen bomb test. Mauritius. The national animal of Mauritius is the dodo, a bird that has sadly become extinct. This peculiar bird was brutally hunted by the first European settlers, who found that it provided good meat and was easy to hunt due to its lack of natural predators on the island. Mauritania. In Mauritania, drinking tea is more than just a custom. Mauritanians usually consume an average of 9 teas a day, enjoying a mixture of green tea with mint and lots of sugar. This tea is known as desert green tea. Micronesia. In this country, the official currency is the dollar, and here bars and restaurants close their doors around 10 at night. Very early, right? Moldova. Known for its vast vineyards and winemaking tradition, it houses the largest wine collection in the world, the Mileshti Michi underground wine cellar, which has an underground labyrinth that houses around 2 million bottles of wine. Mongolia. It is known for having been the epicenter of the Mongol Empire, the largest and most extensive empire in the history of mankind, which was founded by Genghis Khan in the early 13th century. Montenegro. It houses the impressive Tara River Canyon, recognized as the largest in Europe and the second largest in the world. It has a depth of 4.265 feet and a length of approximately 51 miles. Mozambique. Here, the local diet revolves around cassava root, a nutritious and versatile root that is consumed baked, sun-dried, cooked, or ground into coarse flour to prepare a variety of traditional dishes. Myanmar. One of the most distinctive aspects is the widespread use of the longyi, a traditional skirt pants that both men and women wear daily. In addition, people chew a mixture known as local gum, composed of betel leaves, areca nut, tobacco, and hydroxide. Finally, giraffe women or padaongs are part of a Tibeto-Burmese ethnic minority known as Kayan. Mexico. It is known for being the site of the meteorite impact that is believed to have caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. This event occurred about 66 million years ago on the Yucatan Peninsula. Monaco. Approximately 1 in 3 people here is a millionaire, making it one of the countries with the highest concentration of wealth per capita in the world. Namibia. Namibia is the second least populated country on the planet and is home to the world's oldest desert, the Namib Desert, which stretches along the country's Atlantic coast, famous for its towering red dunes. Nauru. Its main source of income comes from the exploitation of phosphate, which was the backbone of its economy. However, these reserves are rapidly being depleted, making it increasingly dependent on external aid, especially from neighboring countries such as Taiwan, New Zealand, and Australia. Nepal. It is the only country with the triangular flag consisting of 2 triangles symbolizing the Himalayan mountains. In addition, the country has the slowest internet in the world due to its mountainous topography and complicates the installation of telecommunications infrastructure and the expansion of broadband networks. Nicaragua. Its capital, Managua, is home to 2 amazing places: the Rubén Darío National Theater, internationally recognized by the New York Times for its exceptional acoustic design as the best in Latin America, and Lake Managua, the only one that houses a population of freshwater sharks. Nigeria. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa and has the highest GDP. Nigeria's Nollywood industry is a powerhouse, producing over 2,000 films a year, and is the second largest in the world in production, behind only Bollywood in India. Norway, home to the world's longest road tunnel, the Lærdal Tunnel. At over 15 miles long, this tunnel cuts through the heart of the mountains between the towns of Lærdal and Årland. New Zealand. It was the first country in the world to approve women's suffrage in 1893, thanks to Kate Shepherd, who led a historic movement to secure women's political rights in the country. Niger. The historic city of Agadez stands as a cultural treasure and is famous for its impressive adobe mosque that combines elements of the Sahelian style with Islamic influences. Oman. In Oman, the conjure is a distinctive Omani knife with a curved blade and a decorated handle. It is much more than a traditional curved knife. It is a symbol rooted in the country's culture and history. Palestine. Palestine is divided into two distinct areas: the West Bank, which is governed by Fatah, a movement founded by Yasser Arafat in the 1960s, and the Gaza Strip, which since 2007 has been under the rule of the Islamic resistance movement known as Hamas, a radical Islamist movement that seeks to implement Islamic law. Pakistan. Pakistan is the only Muslim country to possess nuclear weapons. And on the other hand, Malala Yousafzai, the young Pakistani activist, became the youngest person from her country to receive the Nobel Prize. Palau. It is the only country in the world where Japanese is an official language due to its period under Japanese rule. In addition, together with Bangladesh and Japan, they are the only three countries with a flag consisting of a circle on a flat background. Panama. In its capital, Panama City, this is the only one in the world to have a tropical forest within its urban limits. Surprising, right? Papua New Guinea. It is known for its amazing cultural diversity, with approximately 850 different languages spoken by its numerous ethnic groups. Paraguay. Paraguay has lost up to half of the men in its history. The War of the Triple Alliance, a devastating conflict in which the country faced Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay under the leadership of Francisco Solano Lopez, had disastrous consequences, including enormous loss of life, economic collapse, and significant territorial losses for Paraguay. Netherlands. The Dutch are the tallest people in the world, with an average height of 72 inches in men and 67 inches in women. Peru, home to Lake Titicaca, situated at more than 12,500 feet above sea level and covering a vast area of 3,205 square miles. This lake is recognized as the highest navigable lake on the planet and the largest in South America. Poland. Here is the largest castle in the world, the Malbork Castle. With its medieval architecture, it is strategically located on the banks of the Nogat River and extends over an area of approximately 21 hectares. Portugal. In its history, there are two curious records of monarchs. On the one hand, Alfonso I Henrique, who ruled during the 12th century, holds the title of the country's longest reigning king, lasting 73 years. On the other hand, King Louis Philippe is known for being Portugal's shortest-lived monarch, a reign that lasted just 20 minutes. Qatar. It has one of the most unbalanced gender ratios in the world, with only 24.7% of its population made up of women. This imbalance is explained by the large number of migrant workers, mostly men, who come to the country alone for jobs in sectors such as construction and oil. Central African Republic. The Central African Republic is geographically located in the center of the African continent, with no direct access to the sea. Czech Republic. It is the birthplace of Sigmund Freud, the famous psychoanalyst. Dominican Republic, home to Santo Domingo, the oldest continuously inhabited city in the Americas, and the first seat of Spanish colonization in the New World. Where the first Spanish ships arrived, it was founded in 1498 by Bartholomew Columbus, brother of Christopher Columbus. Rwanda. It has faced a painful past, marked by many genocides in the 1990s. Despite this today, the country stands out for its robust democracy and is one of Africa's technological leaders. Romania. home to its own version of America's Mount Rushmore. On the banks of the Danube, we find the imposing statue of Decibel, an ancient ruler of the Romanians, which is carved into the rock and was carved by 12 mountaineering sculptors over 10 years, reaching a height of 180 feet. Russia, Siberia occupies 77% of Russia's surface. With over 13 million square kilometers, Siberia is the largest region in the country, but surprisingly, it has an extremely low population density, with only 8 inhabitants per square mile, and only 28% of the Russian population resides there. And we've covered all the curiosities from L to R about every country in the world. What fact about which country surprised you the most? Leave your favorite in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on great content, Zarpato.